Hi Capricorns, welcome back to Souls Intersect. This is your June of 2016 reading. If you're interested in one of my private readings, please email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com. I do personal intuitive tarot video readings, and I also do past life readings. If you're interested in reading more about any of those, you can visit my website at soulsintersect.weebly.com. Okay, so an overview for you this month is that I'm feeling there's been a situation where you felt fairly stuck, and it seems like it involves picking up a lot of Pisces, but someone who has had the upper hand in some way. And I'll come back to what the King of Cups means, but it feels like you've been feeling somewhat stuck or trapped because of someone using their power a little bit too strongly. And you're starting to come forward and defend yourself. And it's definitely causing some conflict in the situation. I got 2 conflict cards. I had, obviously, the Five of Swords come up here. But the Five of Wands it fell out of the deck. It actually fell out twice. I ignored it the first time, and then it kind of jumped out again. So there's a very clear message that there's conflict around you. It feels like it's going to be a similar situation, whether it's in regard to work or family or a relationship, and I'll see if I can get some more specific messages in a couple minutes here. But although the King of Cups is a very beautiful energy and usually someone who rules, but rules from their heart and uses a lot of warm, loving energy in their approach to how they handle those that may be either inferior to them or who they've been given the responsibility for. So although that's the case with this, I feel like that may be something that was how you saw this person, how you thought this person was, but I feel that they have a bit of a rash side too. So for this particular reading, I feel that the King of Cups, who's been given a little bit too much authority, can lose control of their emotions and lose their temper a bit. And it could also be that it came up as the King of Cups to reaffirm that it is a water sign in this case, because the qualities are not quite being highlighted so much. I am feeling some negativity. But it would be Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. In this particular depiction, it's very Piscean. There's a lot of the fish. There's the fish in the water in the bottom left. And then there's the fish on that globe next to the chalice. And then around his neck as well. And then on the throne too. On the bottom right, which you can't see right now, is a crab, but maybe it's hidden for a reason. I really feel like this is highly about a Pisces. And some of you could have Pisces rising, and it could be that you've been a bit more emotional recently and accessing that part of your ascendant in the way that you're approaching some sort of conflict. That could be a different take on this. But I really feel there's another person involved. It could be a boss, a lover, possibly a family member. And as I was laying the cards out, I heard symbiotic relationship. So that can be positive, where there's a really healthy give and take and a coexisting and working together in a positive manner. But it's also used often as kind of a synonym for codependency, so I feel like that could be the case for some of you. But if that's the case, it feels like you're coming out of it. It's possible someone's been in an abusive relationship, physically, mentally, or emotionally, but it could also just be some codependency or a relationship that wasn't necessarily abusive, but not the healthiest dynamics between you two, and you're starting to stand up for yourself. So the Eight of Swords is how you felt, and it's how you felt for a long time. I even got 8 months for someone. It's possible that it's 8 years. And the 8 is significant. It could be 8 weeks. And if that's the case and you're getting out of it after 8 weeks, that's a good move. Good of you to recognize it this soon. The Page of Swords is interesting because it is you starting to defend yourself and speak your truth. It is causing conflict. I can see that with the Five of Swords. The Page of Swords is a little bit of a younger energy. And so I am getting that you, and maybe it's because you have kept quiet for so long and it's starting to come out now. It may be coming out in a bit of an emotional manner or possibly not the most mature manner. And I feel that especially around, well, both actually. I'm feeling it around like a boss, how you're approaching a boss, or a lover. And especially if it's a boss, I would say be careful. Maybe try to embrace a little bit more of the Knight of Swords, which can be, or the King of Swords rather, where you are speaking your truth and you are using logic and mentally gauging things in a more mature way before you're approaching them. The Knight of Swords, too, can still be a bit immature in his approach and a bit rash and quick to take action. But the fact that it's coming up is great. It's great that you have gotten to this position where you're defending yourself now. And though it's a younger card, it's not the Page of Cups. So I don't think that you're acting from mere emotion. It feels like you've put some thought into it. And it really feels like it's time. It's time for you to defend yourself. And although this conflict card comes up with the Five of Swords, I definitely don't feel like you're... I feel like it'll come out in your favor. You know, it's like you still have a gain of those 3 swords, and it looks like the clouds are parting, and then there's the swords crossed in front of you. And that could mean that you may have to accept that you have to leave those behind, and at the same time that could mean that you have to face a decision. And so that's telling for both a relationship situation or a work situation. It may be time to start anew, to step away, to kind of leave the scene of the crime and move on towards something healthier for you in either situation. And there's a lot of birds. So we've got the seagulls and the Five of Swords. And then in the Page of Swords, we see there's a lot of birds in the background as well. You can see 2 main ones, but there's smaller ones too, possibly doves. And then there's also in the Eight of Swords, actually, there's the bird flying above. And that's kind of speaking to this idea that although there was this feeling of being trapped, freedom was always accessible. And it seems like now you're accessing it. And so that's the message that is being brought by the birds. And also that there's still clouds, there's still cloud cover, so I still feel like you're in the thick of it a little bit. You're still in the storm, but it's not as dark and gloomy as the background in the Eight of Swords. The clouds are really parting, and it's a really positive change for you, and a period of transition that will be very freeing. I'm going to go to the Five of Wands to see if I can pick up anything else. It obviously came up to highlight this idea of conflict. Five of Wands can be a bit more of a minor conflict. But let me tune in a bit more to see if I can come up with anything else. Okay. So what I'm getting from this is that up until now, I've really just felt the energy of the 2 people involved, but I'm feeling like there's some other people involved here. And I'm feeling a bit of the almost the Seven of Swords energy, which has not shown up, but some kind of backhandedness, some kind of possible betrayal, but it's just someone doing something dishonest. So there could be some cheating that was involved in the relationship situation. In the work situation, I feel like there could have been something that happened where you were supposed to gain something in some way and it was taken away from you or not granted to you and you deserved it. But I also feel like there's something with other people playing a role in the conflict. It feels to me like there are some family members. This feels more in the relationship context. It feels like there were some friends or family members who, some of them defended you, some of them are defending the other person, and it's really caused a lot more tension. There's a lot of fire energy in this. It's like fanning the flames, makes the fire burn brighter, and in this case it's a fire of tension, a fire of anger, a fire of some deep conflict, and there may have been some other people involved who had good intentions of helping, but it feels like ultimately it resulted in a worsening of the tension and conflict. And you're being sent a lot of healing energy around that. You're being encouraged to break ties with some of these people who felt like I'm getting that some of them felt somehow they should be a part of the situation even though it wasn't their relationship. I'm not sure why they felt so entitled to be part of the situation. But that's something that you're being encouraged to distance yourself from. And that even the ones who had fairly good intentions may just be causing a bit too much stress or tension for you right now. Like too many cooks in the kitchen. I feel like you need some time away from just breaking ties with these people, to reflect within yourself. And this lizard or salamander, whatever it is, coming through there, I feel like I'm feeling your energy. I feel like it's you in this depiction. You're an earth sign, and it's down low at the ground, very grounded energy, and it's showing you kind of taking the higher ground, and you have a little bit of distance from this conflict, and you're being encouraged to kind of turn away from that and gain even more distance, and to keep that groundedness, and to really embrace that grounded part of who you are, especially if you do happen to be a water sign rising, because that may be part of why right now your approach with the Page of Swords is a bit more on the emotional side, or maybe a bit more on the rash side. Sorry. So that groundedness, kind of embracing more of that earthy lizard salamander energy, will help you to be a better version of yourself, is what I'm hearing. And it's not to say that the water side is not, is not a positive thing. My cat is trying to invade the reading. So it's not to say that the water side of you is not a positive thing for those of you who do have water in your sign, but it's saying that right now with this situation, being grounded, being that grounded version of yourself is going to help, especially because there's a lot of air in this reading with all of these swords. So it just feels like the groundedness will help you balance that a bit more. Okay, and just a final message is, I feel like this King of Cups, if it's not in regard to you in a rising sign or a moon sign, it could also be the moon sign, by the way, for some people, because especially in this reading being a water element, because the moon is water too. But if it's not about you, if this is not about an aspect of you and it is an actual water sign, I feel like this person is falling out of influence. I feel like this is somebody that you're going to be leaving behind, saying goodbye to. And I feel like this is a very peaceful thing for you. You'll be facing a much more peaceful time ahead because of putting this behind you. Okay, thank you, Capricorns. And again, if you'd like me to take a look at your situation more closely, please email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com for one of my private readings. Thank you.